Does it ever seem like everything is coming against you all at once? Sometimes we go through hard trials, but we don't have to go through them alone. We cannot do anything right without God's help. So we can try to force our way through, but it will be painstaking and harder than it needs to be. Marcus and Tricia invite you to listen and learn from their years of experience. Well, hello everybody, this is Marcus.
And Tricia.
And we are
the Messengers
Ministry. We're back with you with another audio, and today we're going to be talking about
trials aren't difficult with God.
And that's the big part, with God.
Yes.
So trying times, they don't have to be difficult. We always try to make them difficult, but we all have to go through trials. And while that, they can prove hard, with God by our side, they are not impossible.
That's right.
So we need to realize that with God's help, we can do anything. And Matthew 17 verse 20 says that when we have faith in God, nothing will be impossible for us.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
Nothing is impossible. That's incredible to think about because we feel like, oh, it's just impossible. I can't do that.
Right.
Things like that. But with God, he's like, no, you can do that.
And it's in the Bible, so it's true.
That's right. We're not just making it up.
Right.
So, when we're in the middle of a trial, we may think there is no end in sight.
It seems like it sometimes, doesn't it?
It does. We can feel like overwhelmed and burdened. But we need to remember Jesus warned us about these times. He told us we'd have trials and tribulations.
Yeah.
But he also told us to be at peace because through him, we will overcome the world. Isn't that awesome?
That is.
So when we invite Jesus into our lives, we have all the authority that he had.
It's amazing to think that, isn't it?
I know.
And it's amazing to say that we would even do greater things than he would.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
I know.
And we're starting to do those. We've been doing those for a while, but man, we just want to see more and more of his will be done, right?
That's right. That's what it's all about.
So 1 John 5, verses 4 through 5, and this is out of the ESV, it says, "For everyone who has been born of God overcomes the world." I could just stop there and we could
do a whole thing on that.
we could just end the whole audio here, right? But then it goes on and says, "And this is the victory that has overcome the world." Here it is right here. Our faith.
Faith,
right?
That's what it is.
Who is it that overcomes the world except the one who believes that Jesus is the Son of God? It's
right.
that simple.
And when we believe that, like we said, everything is possible when we have God leading and guiding us.
Absolutely.
We can overcome this world. So God, he doesn't make life too difficult for us. It may look like our lives are just like crashing down around us, but when we walk with God and let him lead and guide us, we can walk, get this, are you ready? We can walk in life and peace.
And those are great things to be walking in.
Yes.
So let's go on to Romans 8, verse 6. And this is out of the ESV as well. It says, "For to set the mind on the flesh is death, but to set the mind on the Spirit is life and peace."
Awesome.
That's something to think about, right? There's a lot you could break this down into so much.
Yes. But peace is always awesome.
Absolutely.
So
Life and peace is even more awesome.
That's right. When we're going through a trying time in our lives, we must seek God. He's the only one who can help us. So we don't need to look to the left or to the right when we're walking out our problems. Our waves may be super high, but if we keep our eyes on the light at the end of the trial, we will follow God's leading.
That's right. And there are many times that we can lose our focus. And we may be looking at the circumstances around us and getting lost in all of that mess.
Yeah.
But when we do take our eyes off God, we'll start to sink, just like Peter, and just as fast as Peter did.
Yeah.
But you know what? He was looking at the wind and the waves at that time, right? And that's what we start to do as well. He began to sink. But you know what? He didn't lose heart because he called out to Jesus and he was rescued.
That's right.
And you can find that whole account in Matthew 14, verses 25 through 31.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So let's look at the difference between a trial and a mistake.
All right.
A mistake is when we do something ourselves instead of going to God.
Yeah.
How many times do we do that?
Oh,
My
every day.
goodness. So we think we can handle it on our own. The problem is we can't.
That's right.
When we mess up, God is just waiting for us to turn to him for help. We can't do everything in our own strength, and this is awesome. He doesn't expect us to.
That's right.
God's
Yeah.
not just waiting and watching going, okay, I want to see how they're going to handle this. Ha, ha, ha. No, he's just right there waiting for us. So when we make mistakes, it's because we aren't trusting God enough to help us find the answers to our problems.
That's right. So that was a mistake. Now, a trial is something that's uncomfortable that God allows to happen to us. And this is when we have a lesson to learn. Now, the only way that we can truly learn is by going through a time in our lives where we turn to God and then ask for assistance.
That's right.
He's always willing to help.
Yeah.
So when we ask, he will help us through anything. And we must realize that we still have to go through the whole trial. Mm-hmm. But it will be much easier with him.
That's right. We're not saying that you're going to, turn to God and then all the, automatically go to the other side, of the lake. But when you turn to him, he's going to help guide you to where you can go. And that'll just give you more peace, and you can get through your days, much easier.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're saying. So once we recognize we're in a trial, we can turn to God and receive the help that we need. It doesn't have to be a difficult time. God is there giving us strength and helping us fight our battles. We still have to walk through the problems, like we said, but with God by our side, it can go much smoother and faster. Every lesson, I will say this, every lesson our trials teach us is that we must trust in God more. And there's other lessons we learn from that, but in every trial, we need to know we must trust in God more. So when we learn this and we turn to him for help, our trial will be more comfortable and less stressful.
That's right. Now, trials will always come and go. But with God, we can walk by faith, knowing that we can trust in him to help us guide us through the rough paths.
That's right.
And we must ask for help, but he will not come in and just take over our lives, okay?
Right.
He will, however, always be by our side, helping us out in any situation that we're in when we turn to him for assistance.
Yes.
And we always need his help. He is simply waiting for us just to ask.
That's right. And that is so important. And we've been through this over and over these past years. But asking is so important because he's not just going to jump in and change our lives.
Yeah.
We need to ask him and invite him in.
We always talk about ask, seek, and knock.
That's right. That's right. So we must ask him to help in all of our circumstances.
Yeah.
It can't be just like, oh, God, help me, and then, you expect him to do everything for you. That's not it at all.
Right.
You need to be specific and tell him, God, help me please get through this day.
Very specific in many instances.
Yes. So, you're having a bad day at work, like we say, and then you're going through this rough patch. Lord, please help me get through this day. And then when you ask him and you believe that it will happen, then you will receive it.
Right.
When we start a rough trial, we need to turn to him for help. When we've just finished a rough time in our lives, we need to thank him for his assistance.
Right.
So there is never a time that we should not thank God. He's with us every time we invite him in. And you know what? He doesn't leave. It's not like he just walks away. Okay, I helped you this one time. That's it. I'm over. You're done. No, he's always with us.
That's
he
right.
Doesn't leave.
Amen to that.
Yes.
And we should trust in God to do the impossible in our lives. So many times that we just think that, we got to do it on our own, and we don't trust God.
That's right.
It just seems so hard, right?
And that's the mistake.
God can make beauty for ashes, and you can find that in Isaiah 61, verse 3.
Yes.
So he will turn our mess into something that's beneficial for both us and, get this, him as well.
That's true.
So when we focus on God, we will glide through our days with peace and joy. So let's turn to him first, and then quickly learn our lesson that the trial is trying to teach us, and sail through our time with him, showing us the way. That's the best way to do it.
It is. That sounds great.
Yeah. So with God, we have our own personal GPS. You know what GPS is in this situation?
What is it?
A God positioning system.
Oh, okay.
So we can use that anytime, anywhere. We don't have to worry about there being any kind of a network connection or satellite connection. We have a direct line straight to him.
Okay, this is the IT guy.
Yeah.
If, in other words, it means that we don't have to wait for this big thing. We're always connected with him.
That's right.
Am I right?
So trusting in God and turning to him for help is the answer to all of life's problems, right?
That's right.
Amen.
And that's hard to think about sometimes. Well, God can't help me out of this, or I got myself in this, so God won't get me out. That's not true.
Bleh.
You turn to him and ask, and he's going to be there to help you.
And you got to say to people like that, just shut your mouth and know who God is.
No.
So that's this audio we have today. We hope you guys got something out of it. If you did, don't forget to leave a comment down below, whether you're listening to us on YouTube or Facebook or even on SoundCloud. We love to hear from you guys, and to hear if what we're doing is it beneficial to you? Are you learning stuff? Are you learning that trials aren't difficult with God? Right? Maybe you didn't know that originally. But if you did, we would love to hear from you.
Yes.
You can also visit us on our website, which is www.themessengersradio.com, which is also going to be down below. You can also reach out to us on our email address, and that is
themessengersradio.com.
That's no.
The
Messengersradio at
gmail.com.
There you go. Now, on themessengersradio.com, you can go to the Contact Us button, and that email will be there. So you can go there. Yeah. The writing's on the wall, right?
So it's themessengers@gmail.com.
And don't forget to follow us on all of our social media links. If you go to themessengersradio.com, you'll see every one of those there on the page.
Yes.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
I just love you guys, and I just thank you that, we all go through trials. Marcus and I go through our own trials. We're not saying that we're perfect.
Right.
But we, sometimes it's quickly that we look to God for help, and sometimes we go further, and then it's like, oh, man, I need to ask God for help. And he always does. But we just, we're not perfect. We go through trials, but when we turn to him, they are much smoother.
I tell you, I have a lot of facepalm movements myself. So I hope you guys, though, are having a great morning, a great afternoon, or a great evening, however you may be listening to this.
That's right. We love you guys so much.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening or a wonderful morning, however you are listening.
And you said that again and again.
I want to make sure they have a great day. Any kind of day they're having.
Bye.
Bye now. Thank you for listening to this episode of The Messengers. You can always visit them on their website at www.themessengersradio.com.